My boarding pass fizzled out in my hand, one red blink, then nothing. I didn't panic. Not anymore. Not after everything. I stepped aside while the line behind me groaned in irritation. The terminal reeked of stale coffee and impatience. All I felt was that familiar cold vibration sitting under my ribs. I unlocked my phone. 2 messages. Expected. Predictable. Cruel. Mom, enjoy walking home, loser. Dad, stop pretending you're broke. Take the bus like you should. Their timing was always perfect in the worst way. They struck when they assumed I was already crawling, and apparently, this, between gate 32 and a duty-free perfume display, was what they thought rock bottom looked like. But instead, it was the moment I realized my plan was finally complete. Their faces would drain soon. They just didn't know why yet. I hadn't always been this way, steady, distant, untouchable. There was a time I thought I loved them. When I mistook their barbs for jokes, their manipulation for confusion, their constant comparisons for motivation. Back then, I fought to earn whatever affection they dangled like a prize. But things shifted after I got into college through my own effort. When I began building a life that didn't revolve around them, I started to see the fractures. Jealousy. Resentment. A bitterness so deep it made them sabotage anything brighter than themselves. It started with little digs. Then sudden emergencies that drained my savings. Then misplaced documents I needed. And finally, the night I overheard them. I hope they fail, my father said, voice smooth and cold. They're getting too independent, my mother replied. Time to remind them who actually matters. Undeniable proof. And it didn't exactly hurt, it clarified. And clarity is sharp. I didn't yell or slam doors. I didn't cry. I simply stopped letting my emotions cast votes. I strategized. While they dismissed me, I studied. I learned the financial laws. My rights. The accounts they opened under my name. The debts they'd buried where only I would take the fall. And when I understood just how deep their theft went, how many loans and credit cards they'd masked as help, a calm washed over me. Not fury. Not grief. Purpose. They'd taught me to survive chaos. They never dreamed I'd turn that skill back on them. Over 3 quiet months, I assembled my counterstrike with surgical care. I saved every document, captured every abusive message, notarized each forged signature. I met with a lawyer who didn't even blink at the size of the iceberg we were preparing to flip. I moved my accounts. Froze the ones they were draining. Filed reports, fraud, identity theft, unauthorized debt. Everything airtight, everything traceable back to them. And because I knew their real religion was pride, I made sure the first blow would hit their image. The bank would call them. An investigator would question them. A lien would land on their doorstep. Their borrowed luxury would crumble piece by piece. My ticket out was meant to depart that morning. They canceled it, naturally, using the last card still carrying my name. But I didn't need that flight anymore. I needed to watch their expressions when the ground shifted. I found them in the arrivals area, waiting to gloat. They always showed up to admire the damage they caused. Mom's smirk sharpened when she saw me. Dad crossed his arms, ready for whatever breakdown he assumed I'd deliver. I didn't say a word. I just raised my phone. A notification pulsed. Your fraud report has been processed. Case now active. Another. Your accounts have been released from unauthorized access. And then the third, clean and final. Subjects have been contacted. Investigation underway. They watched each alert appear as it happened. Confusion. Recognition. And then dread, slow and suffocating. Mom's face went gray. Dad's jaw twitched, that tiny tell he had when he realized he was trapped. You reported us? Mom whispered. I documented you, I said. That's not the same thing. Dad stepped closer, but his voice shook. Do you understand what you've done? Yes, I answered. I ended the part where you get to hurt me. Around us, the airport kept humming, unaware. But their world was collapsing in the quiet between us. I turned away. Their voices followed of fear, anger, pleading, all blurring into a sound I no longer recognized. Outside, the cold air hit my face. It didn't sting. It felt clean. I walked toward the bus stop, not because I had no choice, but because I finally did. Freedom isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's simply stepping away while the people who tried to break you finally feel the weight of their own making. When the bus pulled up, brakes sighing, I felt lighter than I had in years. They wanted me to walk home, so I did. Just not in the way they imagined.